Hi, I'm Nick Sheriff, and this is Touchdown Times. Alright, first things first, Super Bowl. Ravens won, just like I said. But there's some controversy there. That holding penalty, pass interference, whatever you want to call it, was not called. The 49ers should have got a first down, repeat, and let's face it, they would have scored. Now, I'm a true believer in let them play the game, but the game has rules. You must go by those rules, and so they should have called the penalty end of the game, beginning of the game. I don't care when it is, okay? The penalty should be called, and the 49ers really should have won, but you can't take it back now. The Ravens won. Give them credit where credit is due. Just like Seattle beat Green Bay. Was it at all fair? No, but they won. You can't take it off the record books. Now for the free agents. I picked three specifically. First one is Greg Jennings. He sold his home in Green Bay, and a lot of people are saying Miami's where he's going to go. I'd have to agree with that statement. I believe he will take his time to South Beach. He is the most talented receiver in the free agency this year. Maybe the most talented player, period. And so that's really all I had to say. He didn't play every game this year, so I don't feel it fair to give you stats because he had injury problems. And so it's not just to him. But I believe that he's one of the best receivers out there and that he will make an impact in Miami. Next up, Ed Reed. I've heard a lot of rumors about him leaving Baltimore, mainly for New England. And for all the people that have said that, stop right now. I don't believe he's leaving Baltimore. I think that he will end his career with the Ravens. He's not leaving, so keep dreaming. And finally, Tim Tebow. There were talks about him going to Jacksonville, but their general manager made it clear that he does not have Tim Tebow in his plans. So I don't think he's going anywhere soon. But there's no doubt in my mind somebody's going to pick him up. Somebody will need a quarterback, and they'll know how to use him better than the Jets did. So yes, I believe he will go to a team. Will it be before the preseason, even before the regular season? I don't know. But by the end of next season, he will be with the team. Speaking of Tebow, I have here my biggest bust of all time and bust of the season. My biggest bust of the season was Tim Tebow. After getting to the playoffs and winning a game, he then averaged 4.9 yards per completion, and out of the 39 yards, he had 23 off of one pass, no touchdowns, and 3.2 yards per rush. That's not very impressive for how much he was paid. Just saying. I don't know any bigger busts of this season. Now, biggest bust of all time, Ahman Green. In 2 years, he played 14 games, averaged 3.8 yards per carry, and his longest rush was 18 yards. He only had 5 touchdowns in those 2 years and was signed to a 4-year, $23 million contract. Come on, man. Gotta do better than that. You're supposed to be an all-pro, Pro Bowler. Injury problems really got in the way of Ahman Green. He was overpaid, and it cost the Texans in the long run. Now, I would have done the best signing of this season and of all time, but fact of the matter is, it's the same person. Peyton Manning being signed to the Broncos. It's the best thing that could have happened to that organization. I got his stats from 2010 and this season, ready to compare. His completion percentage was 66.3 in 2010, 4,700 yards, 6.9 yards per completion, 33 touchdowns with 17 interceptions, and his QBR was 68.6. That's fourth in the league at the time. This season, his completion percentage was 68.6. It's over 2% higher. He had 4,659 yards, 8 yards per completion, 37 touchdowns and 11 interceptions, and his QBR was 84.1. That was the highest in the NFL, and he was second in MVP voting. I rest my case. As everybody knows, Terrell Owens still wants to play in the NFL, and I believe he can. See, I got his stats from 2010. He was targeted 139 times, had 72 receptions, 13.7 yards per reception, 9 touchdowns, and 47 first downs. That was better than Randy Moss's 2010 season, and Randy Moss got a chance, whereas Terrell Owens didn't even get to play a game. Randy Moss's 2010 season was 63 targets, 28 receptions, 14 yards per receptions, 5 touchdowns, and 20 first downs. But I'm going to give Randy Moss credit. He has improved since 2010. With just 51 targets, he had 28 receptions again, 15.5 yards per reception, 3 touchdowns, and 22 first downs. But I still believe Terrell Owens could perform at the level Randy Moss is, if not far better. Randy Moss deserves a chance. T.O. deserves a chance, and Randy Moss still deserves to have a job, but not as much as T.O. does. This has been another episode of Touchdown Times. Be here next week, Touchdown Times. Nick Sheriff. I'm out.